I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land on which we meet, the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge my parliamentary colleagues, both federal and state, all those international visitors. It's great to hear about the international visitors, also visitors from over east, and also senior defence members who are here as well. I would like to acknowledge and thank all the current and former servicemen and women that are here this afternoon. I'm very pleased to be here today to talk as a very proud West Australian Minister for Defence Industry, and indeed the second West Australian Federal Minister from the Defence portfolio to address the conference today. How good is WA? I've long held an interest in all matters relating to defence, given my electorate, and I'm really excited by the renewed energy in this sector across the state. As is increasingly self-evident, security is of critical importance. Earlier today, Linda Reynolds, the Defence Minister, reiterated the increased importance of the Indo-Pacific, along with the government's unprecedented $200 billion investment in defence capability. And a key part of delivering on our record investment is my portfolio of defence industry. 2 months ago, I took on the reins as the Minister for Defence Industry, and as Prime Minister Morrison has said on more than one occasion, my job is to ensure the generational job-creating projects we're bringing through our investment in defence capability are delivered on time and on budget. And let me tell you, as an ex-construction lawyer, I also like to add, and on spec. For me, on spec includes the requirement for Australian local content in all our contracts with our major contractors to ensure that all Australian businesses get the opportunities that they deserve. And let me say, I'm thoroughly enjoying getting to know the many fantastic businesses that make up the defence industry in Australia and working hard to create those partnerships to deliver on those commitments. I've met cabinet makers, engineers, scientists, shipbuilders, lots of different tradespeople, industrial designers and mechanics, just to name a few. And all of these people and businesses are contributing to our defence industry, and all of them are benefiting from our government's record investment in our sovereign defence capability. We're setting the path to grow the workforce across Australia, creating thousands of long-term jobs in the process. We are building Australia's defence industry to be resilient, sustainable and internationally competitive. And my focus is laser sharp to ensure that Australian industry involvement in the acquisition, operation and sustainment of defence capability and WA is key to our vision. Western Australia has a proud and thriving local defence industry. I'm sure you've heard a lot about that today. And as I've said, I am a proud West Australian, and I'm very pleased that WA is seizing the opportunity with both hands. Our state contributes significant capability to safeguarding Australia. It has a diverse industrial base and expertise in critical defence skills. It also has a strong track record in research and innovation. Our government is making sure that WA has a critical role in the national naval shipbuilding enterprise, quite topical at the moment. Workers in WA are building 10 of our new 12 offshore patrol vessels, 21 Pacific patrol boats, 1 hydrographic vessel and 2 mine hunter vessels. Workers in WA are already working on significant capability upgrades to the Navy's Anzac-class frigates and sustainment and maintenance of the Navy's Collins-class submarines. This means more jobs for West Australians, more long-term jobs and a stronger economy. And let me assure you that I want to see many more Aussie projects delivered by Aussie workers using Aussie components with some good old Aussie know-how and ingenuity. To achieve this, we need many more highly skilled workers, and this is why the Morrison government is investing in upskilling WA's workforce. One of the ways we're achieving this is through the Naval Shipbuilding College, which is building Australia's future naval shipbuilding workforce. The Naval Shipbuilding College is finding and training those trade-qualified, job-ready workers and apprentices to truly be the workforce behind the Defence Force. They will make sure locals have the right skills at the right time to help industry deliver Australia's sovereign naval capability. Together, we are building the skills to be used around Australia across the naval shipbuilding enterprise. But our government's $200 billion investment in defence capability is much more than just about naval shipbuilding. We're ensuring that the Australian Defence Force has the capability it needs, including superior aircraft and new armoured vehicles, delivering combat capabilities like the 5th generation F-35 Joint Strike Fighter and the world-leading Boxer combat reconnaissance vehicles, but also delivering for Australian companies, with more than 50 directly sharing in more than the $1.3 billion in F-35 production contracts. And what that means, folks, is that every F-35 has components that really should have a Made in Australia badge on them. And over 1,450 jobs across Australia by building and supporting the Boxer vehicle with Australian steel and Australian supply chains. Today, we announced over $3 billion of investment in cutting-edge equipment for Australia's Special Forces. Key equipment such as body armour, roping and climbing systems, as well as medical research and rescue, are great opportunities for Australian companies to continue to provide the world's best equipment to the world's best Special Forces. Our government is investing in the skills of the future. Earlier this year, we released the Defence Industry Skills Strategy. Part of this strategy is establishing the National Defence Industries Skills Office. Together, we're helping industry, government and other stakeholders ensure that the defence industry has the skilled workforce it needs in the years ahead to achieve our ambitious plans. And later this year, I will host a National Defence Industry Skilling Summit to bring together those key stakeholders and the Defence Industry Skills Office. And as the Minister for Defence Industries, it is a key priority of mine to create pathways for Australian students to find and pursue careers in our defence industry. And we must do more. We must act now to attract more people to defence industry. With a skilled workforce, we can grow our small businesses in the defence industry. Here in Western Australia, through the Schools Pathway program, we're encouraging students to develop the science, technology and engineering skills for the future, skills that are needed in the defence industry and beyond. We're highlighting key subjects with the hope that students will enrol in school and later pursue a career in Australia's defence industry. As well as more students, we also want to see more small Australian businesses in the defence industry too. To create a stronger defence industrial base, we need to maximise the involvement and success of Australian small business. There are many opportunities here in WA, and I encourage you to look at the government's broader investment program for opportunities which business can take advantage of. So some local success stories so far include CETA Summit. I've just been out there having a chat with those guys. They provide outdoor furniture. They did have some chairs out there. Outdoor equipment. They didn't look very comfortable though. Including sleeping bags, hydration packs. Anyway, you know what they provide. Black Tree Technologies, they provide communication solutions to the Australian Defence Force. AVI, they're designing and manufacturing and supporting customised equipment for critical communication systems. International Maritime Consultants, who are providing naval architecture advice and design services, and Total Marine Technology, who are building remotely operated vehicles and who are exporting them to Brazil. So our government is also helping those small Australian businesses connect with those global primes, and with great success. Under the Global Supply Chain Program, Australian small businesses have won more than $1 billion in contracts. Western Australian businesses account for 13% of that, so 13 companies have won contracts totalling $131 million. Local company Orbital is a great example. It's currently working with In Situ, a Boeing subsidiary exporting drones for the Scan Eagle in the US, an unmanned aerial vehicle used for reconnaissance. What I want to see, and I'm sure Minister Papalia wants to see as well, is more Australian businesses exporting overseas, because when we export, we create more Australian jobs. But WA businesses are particularly fortunate in this area. Not only do they have champions in myself and also Linda Reynolds as the Defence Minister, they also have the Australian Defence Export Advocate, David Johnson. Since the Australian Defence Export Office opened last year, David has done a tremendous job advocating for Australian defence businesses both at home and overseas. And can I say that WA businesses really are well positioned to export their products. I'm pleased to hear that there are some 6 WA companies who have showcased in this year's Australian military sales catalogue, which is an increase from 2 from last year. So we really need to focus on getting more of those West Australian companies into the catalogue. WA is also contributing to the innovation space, and I encourage more WA businesses to get involved with the Defence Innovation Hub. The Hub is working closely with businesses across the country to turn good ideas into advanced capability for the Australian Defence Force. So far, it's awarded 2 contracts to West Australian companies totalling $3.1 million. And one of these contracts is with L3 Oceania, which is based in Fremantle. Some of you may know this company, who's currently developing technology that has the potential to extend and enhance the acoustic surveillance capability of a submarine. This is particularly useful in contested waters, as you could imagine. It's also a great example of how WA directly contributes to national and regional defence. I know another great area is with respect to research, and I'm looking at this clock. I've just now realised there's a clock there saying -2. No wonder you're all starting to nod. Look, I think I might finish up there. I think you get the gist, that there are lots of opportunities at home, lots of opportunities abroad, lots of opportunities for us to transition. I'm from Kalgoorlie. I have a particular interest in the mining industry. I'm very interested in tapping those mining companies and seeing what they can do across the whole of the defence capabilities. It's been great to be here today. You can all now pack your belongings up and enjoy your evening. Thanks for having me.